You've probably heard the word incel a lot recently. It's everywhere. TikTok debates, Reddit threads, long rants about how dating is rigged and society is broken. But what if I told you, while the word is new, the behavior isn't? In fact, a Russian writer named Fyodor Dostoevsky was writing about this exact mindset over 150 years ago. Not online, not in forums, in novels. And one of those characters? He would fit perfectly into a modern comment section. His name was Rodion Raskolnikov. He was broke, isolated, living in a tiny room, barely talking to anyone, just sitting there thinking. And as we all know, sitting alone with your thoughts for too long is already a risky activity, because eventually, those thoughts stop sounding like opinions and start sounding like facts. Raskolnikov came up with a theory. Humanity, according to him, is split into two types: ordinary people who follow rules and extraordinary people who don't have to. And obviously, in his mind, he wasn't ordinary. He looked at history and saw people like Napoleon, someone who broke rules, caused chaos, and still ended up admired, and thought, if the world rewards people like that, then maybe rules aren't universal. And this is where it starts sounding very familiar, because you still see this mindset today. Long posts, anonymous accounts, entire threads built around one idea. I'm not failing, I'm just different, too aware, too smart for this world. And just like that, a lonely student in 1866 convinced himself of something dangerous, that some people have the right to step over others. Now, here's the problem with a mindset like that. It sounds smart until you try to prove it. Because it's one thing to sit in your room and explain why society's broken. It's another thing to actually act like you're above it. And Raskolnikov? He didn't just talk. He decided to test his theory, not by improving his life, not by changing anything meaningful, but by doing something extreme enough to prove once and for all that he was different. He chose murder. His target was an old pawnbroker, someone he saw as greedy, useless, and, in his mind, completely insignificant. He convinced himself that removing her would actually benefit the world. Less harm, more good. Simple logic. At least, that's what he told himself. And this is where the pattern becomes clear. Because once you believe you're above everyone else, morality stops being a rule and starts becoming a debate. You stop asking, is this wrong? And start asking, can I justify it? You see echoes of this even today, not in the same extreme form, but in the way people build entire arguments to explain why nothing is their fault, why rejection isn't rejection. It's proof that the system is broken. But the moment Raskolnikov actually goes through with it, something unexpected happens. There's no feeling of power, no sense of becoming extraordinary, just panic, confusion, and something he didn't account for: guilt. Because it turns out, you can't logic your way out of being human. The original overthinker. Now, while Raskolnikov is busy realizing that becoming extraordinary doesn't feel the way he imagined, Dostoevsky gives us another character, one who never even takes action. Meet the underground man. And if Raskolnikov is the guy who takes things too far, this is the guy who never starts. He's isolated, bitter, and painfully self-aware, the kind of person who can analyze every situation perfectly and still make the worst possible decision. He believes he's smarter than everyone else, but instead of using that intelligence to improve his life, he uses it to explain why his life is bad. And the explanations always sound convincing. Society is fake, people are shallow, relationships are pointless, which, on the surface, sounds deep. But in reality, it becomes the perfect excuse to stay stuck. Because if the world is the problem, then you don't have to change anything about yourself. And you still see this mindset today. Long posts breaking down why dating is impossible, why connection is fake, why everyone else is NPCs. It sounds intellectual, but it always leads to the same place: nowhere. And here's the worst part. He actually wants connection. At one point, he meets a woman named Liza. For a moment, it looks like something might change, and then he ruins it, pushes her away, insults her, closes the door himself. Because deep down, rejection hurts less when you do it first. And this is where everything connects. Because Raskolnikov and the Underground Man aren't just characters, they're patterns. Two different versions of the same mindset. One acts, the other overthinks, but both are stuck in the same loop. It starts with isolation. You're alone, disconnected, spending more time in your head than in the real world. Then comes overthinking, where every failure turns into a deep explanation. After that, the superiority kicks in. You're not struggling, you're just different, too aware, too intelligent for this world. And once you believe that, rejection stops being feedback and starts becoming proof. Proof that people don't understand you. Proof that society is broken. Proof that you were right all along. So what happens next? You withdraw even more. You stop trying. You build your identity around being misunderstood. And just like that, the loop resets. Isolation, overthinking, superiority, rejection, bitterness, again and again and again. And 150 years later, this didn't disappear. It just moved online. Different platform, same mindset, and that's what Dostoevsky was really doing. He wasn't predicting the future. He was exposing a pattern, one that still exists today. So tell me, do you think this mindset is getting worse, or has it always been here? If you enjoyed this, don't forget to like, subscribe, and let me know what topic we should break down next.